They called it Unsinkable. The largest, most luxurious ship in the world, Titanic, was more than a vessel. It was a symbol of human progress, wealth, and pride. But just 4 days into her maiden voyage, Titanic would meet her fate in the icy waters of the Atlantic, leaving behind a tragedy that has haunted the world for over a century. This is the untold story of Titanic. On April 10, 1912, Titanic left Southampton, England, bound for New York. On board were more than 2,200 passengers, from millionaires and aristocrats to poor immigrants dreaming of a new life. The ship itself was breathtaking, a floating palace. First-class passengers dined on fine china, strolled the grand staircase, and danced in glittering ballrooms. But far below, in steerage, families squeezed into small bunks, clutching tickets that represented hope for a better future. Titanic wasn't just beautiful, it was revolutionary. She boasted state-of-the-art safety features and watertight compartments, electric elevators, swimming pools, and libraries. Newspapers declared her unsinkable, but that very confidence would soon turn deadly. As Titanic sailed through the North Atlantic, wireless operators received warnings of ice ahead. But the crew pressed on. Captain Smith, nearing retirement, believed the ship's speed and strength would carry them through. Passengers continued to dine, dance, and dream, unaware that danger was drawing closer. On the night of April 14th at 11:40 p.m., a lookout spotted it, an iceberg dead ahead. The crew tried desperately to turn the ship, but it was too late. Titanic scraped along the iceberg, ripping open her hull. The sound was quiet, almost gentle, yet the damage was fatal. Water poured into the lower decks. At first, many passengers didn't believe anything serious had happened. Some even laughed, tossing bits of ice like snowballs. But beneath their feet, the ship was bleeding. Titanic could float with 4 compartments flooded, but 6 were already filling. She was doomed. Titanic carried only 20 lifeboats, enough for about half of those on board. Worse, in the first confusion, many were launched half-empty. As the order rang out, women and children first, wealthy first-class passengers were led to safety, while steerage families were locked behind gates, fighting for a chance to escape. Panic spread. The night air filled with screams, prayers, and chaos. Even in tragedy, there was courage. The ship's band played on, soothing terrified passengers with hymns and waltzes until the very end. Crew members worked tirelessly to load lifeboats, many giving up their own seats. Fathers kissed their children goodbye, staying behind so their families could live. It was humanity at its darkest hour and brightest. By 2 a.m., Titanic was nearly gone. Lights flickered. The bow sank deep into the ocean. At 2:20 a.m., the ship split apart, breaking into 2 pieces. Thousands were thrown into the freezing Atlantic. The water was so cold, death came in minutes. Over 1,500 souls were lost that night. Hours later, the Carpathia arrived, pulling survivors from lifeboats. Only 705 people lived to tell the tale. They huddled under blankets, watching the empty horizon where Titanic had once stood proud. Their lives were spared, but their hearts carried the weight of unimaginable loss. But among the survivors were voices often forgotten. One woman, Violet Jessup, and a stewardess, not only survived Titanic's sinking, but also 2 other shipwrecks, including the Britannic. She came to be known as Miss Unsinkable. Her story reminds us that sometimes fate spares us for reasons we may never understand. Today, Titanic rests in silence, 2 miles beneath the sea, holding secrets that may never be revealed. This was the night Titanic sank.